Hello everyone and welcome to our next match in round 2 of the St. Louis VGC Draft League. We have Bathilra versus Konnichi. Now Konnichi is taking over for one of our players who had to drop out and therefore missed week 1. But they had a very powerful core in that Mega Sceptile Rotom-H you can see. And it seems they've also chosen to bring Annihilape, Empoleon, Medicham, and Overqwil, compared to Bathilra's... Bathilra's Aerodactyl... Crap. Whoops. Well, we'll see them back in a second, but Bathilra went one of the Meteor Mashers going with that Metagross. So, Annihilape, Medicham up against... Aerodactyl and that Metagross, very powerful, backed up by Hisuian Arcanine, a non-Mega Scovillain, Alolan Ninetales, and I believe that is base Feraligatr. So, Bathilra is leading incredible offense in this game 1. That Mega Metagross able to output massive damage, while this Aerodactyl can support it with Tailwind. However, this Annihilape could have Ghost Stab to attempt to deal with this Metagross. The Medicham does have access to Fake Out, and with the huge power ability it usually runs, could do massive damage. We see a Fake Out into the Aerodactyl, breaking any potential Focus Sash. And the Annihilape goes for Ice Punch, so either very fast Annihilape or a Choice Scarf Annihilape. We see a freeze on the Aerodactyl, absolutely massive, because that Ice Punch Fake Out double up was not able to take out the Aerodactyl, while the Shadow Claw from the Mega Metagross getting a crit, may or may not matter, was enough to take out the... It was enough to take out the Annihilape, so it'll have more in store for future games, I'm sure. A little bit interesting coverage option there, the Shadow Claw, not going for something like Shadow Fang or Psychic Fangs, which would have done effectively more damage. We see the Mega Sableye come out now, able to output good damage, but both of its stabs are resisted by this Mega Metagross. So we'll see. Here comes a Protect from the Mega Metagross, expecting an Earth Power to come out. But a Feint coming out from the Medicham, breaking through the Protect and allowing this Mega Sceptile to just go straight for an Earth Power into this Mega Metagross. It doesn't KO, but it does massive damage. And now if you're Bathilra, okay. The one-turn freeze, really interesting how that worked, because the freeze happened on the Aerodactyl before it quote-unquote flinched. That turn counted as a freeze for the Aerodactyl, allowing it to get the one-turn freeze unthaw. Pokemon Champions did make it so it is not possible for you to stay frozen for too long. Vacuum Wave comes out from the Mega Sceptile to just chip down this Aerodactyl. But a Meteor Mash coming out from the Mega Metagross, and to surprise of all and sundry, the Sceptile, not a very bulky Pokemon, does survive, and suddenly Bathilra is really hoping they brought that Arcanine with an extreme speed to take out this Sceptile. We don't see priority, maybe Ice Shard on the Alolan Ninetales. I'm not sure if it gets that, but we see presumably a Scarf Rotom-H. No, the Rotom-H is not scarfed, I believe, based on what we saw last turn. But discharging, able to boost the power of this Mega Sceptile. This Mega Sceptile is incredibly threatening, but you have to wonder, will a +1 Earth Power be enough to take out this Scovillain? Scovillain does go for the Rage Powder, is trying to redirect as much damage away from this Ninetales as possible, and Earth Power goes into it anyway, because Sceptile is a grass type. A Blizzard comes out from the Alolan Ninetales, of course, in the snow, super effective. It's critical damage into the Mega Sceptile and a critical hit into the Rotom-H. We see a Discharge come out. Will this be enough? It does not take out the Alolan Ninetales, and that's brutal. We see the Scovillain beginning to heal with leftovers, not scared of this Rotom-H, but it does lose some special attack. It was already probably faster than the Rotom-H, and now it's just not going to hit as hard. The Alolan Ninetales probably doesn't have much to hit this Rotom. Yeah, that Giga Drain at -1 is just not doing very much, but it does get this Scovillain back up just a little bit healthier. We see an Aurora Veil come out, just trying to Bathilra knowing that this is going to be a slugfest between the two fire types here at the end. A Discharge comes out from the Rotom, hoping beyond hope for a paralysis, and gets it on the Scovillain. It is a 30% paralysis chance, which is absolutely massive. Scovillain does heal up some and is not taking very much from these discharges, and a sharp special defense boost is massive, but now it's at -2 special attack as well. So Rotom, we'll see, does it have anything other than a fire type overheat or an electric move to go into this Scovillain? Rotom goes for Protect. I'm not sure if that's really the move you want to go for. That's just stalling out the Moody Boost, which will eventually go net positive for Bathilra. But it does lower the special defense, and one turn of leftovers recovery isn't quite worth that. A good gamble made by Konnichi. We see another Giga Drain, but at -2 special attack and resisted, that's not doing very much to this Rotom, but it is keeping the Scovillain very healthy. So here's another Discharge, not having a better move to hit this grass type, and slowly but surely, if we don't see more special defense drops or special attack drops, it looks like this Scovillain is going to be able to manage. It gets another sharp attack boost and a defense drop, which neither of which are relevant in this position. So I have to wonder, is Konnichi choosing to use this opportunity to scout out if the Alolan Ninetales was holding a Light Clay? No, not going for another Protect, just banking on some paralysis chances, only 1 in 8. But the Scovillain just stays around that 81% health margin. We see another Discharge, and then we'll see another Leftovers recovery. The snow finally has stopped, not that it's really been impacting things. Scovillain continues to heal, a sharp defense boost, and an attack drop, but you can see there's a lot more green on the Scovillain stat spread than red. A lot more boost than minus. You will net positive 1 stat change, and this is just the situation that the Scovillain really doesn't mind all that much. Konnichi goes for Protect, trying to scout out what item the Alolan Ninetales was holding, and that special defense boost is absolutely brutal. We do get to learn that the Alolan Ninetales is holding the Light Clay, extending the length of that Aurora Veil, and I think with that, Konnichi will probably just gamble on a crit at this moment. No Protect, no Paralysis going off on the Scovillain, unfortunately. But we just see another Discharge, just continuing to chip down the Scovillain, hoping beyond hope for a crit or more special defense drops. But again, this Scovillain has just stayed healthy. A special attack drop, that probably will allow the Rotom to live 1, maybe 2 more Giga Drains. It does look like it could be a roll, but probably Rotom will be able to survive another turn, barring a boost. Here comes the Overheat, and it misses, gambling all in on that crit, but instead missing. So there's a special attack boost, and that's going to do it. Going so long without hitting that special attack boost, now it's only at -1, and a Giga Drain surely will take out the Rotom at this point. Yes, absolutely, does take out the Rotom. Congratulations to Bathilra, getting it into a position, understanding the win condition there at the end of the game, allowing it to just Moody Boost up to where it could just outlast this Rotom-H. So looking at that game 1, I think Konnichi had a good secondary plan into the Aerodactyl. That Feint and Earth Power are super critical, but if that, and the freeze ended up not mattering at all with the Annihilape, but you have to think that you want a little bit more out of your Annihilape than that. Now, interestingly, with the same tap attack bonus, a close combat goes to about 180 base power, while Ice Punch, super effective with no stab, goes up to about 150. So you have to imagine maybe the Annihilape would rather go for a close combat this game over the Ice Punch, maybe expecting a switch or thinking that it didn't want to take a drop. But looks like that Aerodactyl has just a little bit of bulk in it to stay alive after that double up in game 1, turn 1. But here we are in game 2. Let's stop talking about game 1 and say we have Annihilape and Sceptile immediately on the field, while we see the exact same lead from Bathilra. Now, both Pokemon on Konnichi's side of the field, we do know they have a speed advantage from what we saw last game. The Annihilape has, we believe, has a Choice Scarf, and the Mega Sceptile is faster than Aerodactyl with 145 base speed. Probably doesn't need quite all of that to outrun everything on Bathilra's side without any boosts. But as both sides choose to go for their Mega Evolutions for this match, you have to wonder what we are expecting to see here. So the Annihilape immediately goes for Phantom Force, saying, hey, I can just dodge out of the way and hit you with an incredibly strong Ghost type attack. An Energy Ball comes out into the Mega Aerodactyl, chipping it down, and the Mega Aerodactyl the non-Mega Aerodactyl is able to take out the Mega Sceptile. So you have to imagine maybe a Leaf Storm would have been able to get the KO there. And now we have a Annihilape that's going into one of these slots, while we have Empoleon coming in for Konnichi. So that's 5 Pokemon we've seen from Konnichi so far in this best of 3. And the Mega Metagross says, hey, I don't want to take this Ghost type attack. I can just switch into something else to handle it. We see the Feraligatr taking that hit. It does half to the Feraligatr. And we see the Aerodactyl set up a Tailwind saying, hey, congratulations, Monkey. You're not the fastest thing on the field anymore. We see a Flash Cannon come out into the Aerodactyl, but it's fine with that. It did everything it was supposed to do. It lived to hit and got up a Tailwind. And now the Mega Metagross can just come back out onto the field, outspeeding this Scarf Annihilape, and say, hey, I got a Shadow Claw that I know is going to take you out. And then the 2 starters, Feraligatr versus Empoleon, is somewhat of a stalemate. We'll have to see if they have any unique moveset options that can change the tide of battle here. But Annihilape is just not in a great spot. Goes for the Psychic Fangs immediately, and that's just going to take out this Annihilape. So what does this Empoleon have up its sleeve in order to manage here? A Crunch comes out from the Feraligatr just to get some chip, does good damage, and we see a Chilling Water as a Water Stab option, dropping the attack of the Metagross. It is in its Mega form, so it does not have Clear Body. That does mean its attack is vulnerable to being dropped, and speaking of attack drops, here's the Overqwil. All 6 Pokemon revealed from Konnichi, and there's no Intimidate. I expected an Intimidate. We could be seeing potential Rain mode from this Empoleon, saying, hey, I want to set up Rain and get a doubled speed boost of my own. This Overqwil is pretty threatening into the Pokemon that Bathilra has. Dark Stab for this Mega Metagross. It's already taken shown that it can take some damage. Overqwil does go down to under half from a single body slam from this Feraligatr, and it is the Rain Dance. So we have Manual Rain setting up like a Tailwind on this Overqwil, and it's going to be faster now. So you have to imagine this Overqwil is offensive to take that much damage from the Feraligatr's Body Slam, and you have to imagine that it's going to be able to take out either of the Pokemon on Bathilra's side of the field. Does Konnichi get the read right? We see the Alolan Ninetales saying, hey, I'm not going to let you have this for free. And Overqwil goes for a Protect. Did we see the double Rain Dance to force the rain back up? This could be absolutely massive. No, it's an Icy Wind trying to drop some speed. And I think that the Tailwind might be running out this turn. Tailwind Hex goes at the end of all of these post-turns action, and it does. So depending on how speed invested this Overqwil was, it might be the fastest Pokemon on the field, and if the Empoleon chooses to just go for another Rain Dance, this could be dangerous. Alternatively, why would it even do that? It could just go for Flash Cannon into this Alolan Ninetales and take it out. With the speed drop, I don't know how these Pokemon are trained, but a Crunch goes into the Feraligatr, taking it out. Will the Alolan Ninetales go before this Empoleon can take it out with a Flash Cannon? I think that's what the game comes down to. We see the Aurora Veil. That's pretty big for the Mega Metagross in the back. That will allow it to live a hit. And we see the Flash Cannon coming out. Even with the Aurora Veil, the critical hit probably didn't matter. 4 times super effective, and Empoleon is not weak. One of the stronger starters in terms of offensive stats, the special attack being pretty high. But now it's a 2 versus 1, but you have to wonder, this Mega Metagross, it's revealed, I believe, Shadow Claw, Protect, Psychic Fangs, and Meteor Mash. I don't believe it has Bullet Punch. It can't outspeed, and we see Overqwil saying, hey, I'm just going to go for a Protect this turn and try to reset up Rain, make sure that I'm faster, and there's the Rain Dance. So it comes down to, with this Aurora Veil, is this double up going to be able to take out this Mega Metagross? The Mega Metagross doesn't have a spread move option. There's no Earthquake, which would be absolutely clutch in this scenario. But it comes down to this Crunch. This Overqwil goes for Crunch, doing good damage, but not enough. The last gift of the Ninetales is able to keep the mascot of the Meteor Mashers up, goes for that Meteor Mash right now and takes out the Overqwil. So we'll see what if a Chilling Water in the range, surely that's enough to finish off the Metagross, and it does go down. And Konnichi bringing with a surprise set on this Overqwil is able to bring us to a tied series, 1-1. Looking at the matchup, you would expect and intimidate Overqwil in order to help deal with the Mega Metagross being immune to the Psychic Stab and dropping its attack, but bringing it with the Manual Rain to help deal with the snow from the Alolan Ninetales, just coming in absolutely clutch. And now we'll have to see, we've seen 2 entirely different modes from Konnichi, while Bathilra has brought basically the same squad, swapping out the Scovillain for a Feraligatr. You have to wonder, will we see the Hisuian Arcanine now that we know that the Overqwil is not Intimidate? A Choice Scarf or having some priority options to deal with it when it gets chipped down later in the game could be very useful. We see Sceptile and Annihilape coming out again into the exact same lead from Bathilra all 3 games, but now we know that Energy Ball is not enough to take out this Aerodactyl. How will this cause the Sceptile to adjust its move priority? We could potentially see a double up into this Metagross with Earth Power and a ghost move like Rage Fist or Shadow Claw. You have to imagine that will probably have enough to take out the Metagross, or do you double up into this Aerodactyl trying to stop it from setting up Tailwind, or going for a dual Wing Beat to take out the Sceptile? Sceptile is of course Mega Evolving, as to be expected, going for the increase in power, speed, and bulk, while the Metagross Mega Evolves as well for those self-same boosts. Both Pokemon very terrifying in this situation. The claws of the Metagross gleaming. We just see another Phantom Force. We have to wonder, which slot is it going to go and attack? And an Earth Power goes straight into the Metagross. Is that a crit? Yes, it is. We saw in Game 1 that wasn't enough to take out the Metagross, and Konnichi gets a massive crit. That Tailwind comes out, but we're in a bad situation. That Tailwind's actually good for Konnichi in one sense. The Alolan Ninetales comes out. Yes, it will be able to set up a Aurora Veil. Yes, the Aerodactyl will be able to take out the Mega Sceptile, but it does mean that with the Phantom Force, there is no danger of the Annihilape going down here. A dual Wing Beat goes into the Empoleon, completely unbothered by anything this Aerodactyl has to throw at it. And I presume we'll see an Aurora Veil come out. And with the Snow defense boosts for Ice types and this Aurora Veil, this Phantom Force is not going to take out this Alolan Ninetales without a crit of its own, and we don't see it. So we know that the one of the two potential one of the two flying resists on Konnichi's side of the battle in that Empoleon is out. That does make a dual Wing Beat very tempting into the Annihilape, and it just goes for it, but critically that doesn't take it out. Now I would expect a Blizzard to come out here, and we do see it, so that should be enough to take out this Annihilape, but Empoleon just hangs on, and critically so. Annihilape falls, and then Empoleon, what is it going to go for? It goes for a Flash Cannon straight into the Alolan Ninetales, saying, hey, I'm not going to let you get a Blizzard off on my Mega Sceptile, bringing this game back into Konnichi's favor, 3 Pokemon to 2. So we're going to see what is the final Pokemon that Bathilra has on their side of the field. We do see the Arcanine coming out, that final Pokemon coming out, able to do some priority now with the speed advantage over this Mega Sceptile, but with the Intimidate, the Empoleon does get a special attack boost, and you have to wonder, okay, what moves does this Mega Arcanine have to handle this Empoleon? Does it have something? Is Flare Blitz just enough to take it out? It is neutral. Sceptile goes for a Detect, saying, hey, I don't want any part of this dual Wing Beat, and it is able to protect itself from that attack. What does this Arcanine have? It goes straight for a Flare Blitz into the Empoleon, and the Empoleon's just too bulky. Is able to survive that, and goes for a Rain Dance, saying, hey, I've got something in the back that I'm setting up, or perhaps just wanting to boost the power of its own Chilling Waters. I think it's likely that it's just setting up the Rain Dance while it has a free turn for a Overqwil in the back. I think that is very likely, but as we saw, the Tailwind's gone, and this Earth Power is just going to obliterate this Arcanine, and alright, it's back to the days of just getting differential. A dual Wing Beat goes into this Mega Sceptile, not wanting to play the infinite flinches game with Rock Slides. Just says, hey, I know I'm beat, but I'm going to get one more KO for the road. We see a Chilling Water go into this Aerodactyl, and we do learn that it is Focus Sash, perhaps able to, with a couple of crits, maybe to get one more, depending on what Pokemon is in the back for Konnichi, but Konnichi is just going to get the win. There is a forfeit for Bathilra, and that will bring these two to have a tied record. So congratulations to Konnichi, bringing it back. The Empoleon coming in clutch with the offensive moves with a stat drop attached to them. Konnichi definitely showing, hey, just because I'm filling in for someone doesn't mean I'm not a threat, and you have to take me seriously. And Absolutely, I think everyone in the league is going to be looking at the results of this battle and reassessing what they think of the team that was drafted, that Konnichi inherited. But for everyone, that's the match we have for you today. Congratulations to Konnichi, good game to Bathilra, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!